I have been reading about sales trainings that is being given to all the sales managers annually. And there are about 4 or 5 techniques that I have seen are recurring ones. That brings me to the fourth point, and which I believe is my favorite point of the whole 5 techniques that I was reading about. And it's about good cop, bad cop scenario. It's fairly standard exercise. Now, in the training that I was looking at on YouTube and some of the master classes that I was watching, the trainer to the sales guy said, try to identify how the negotiation is going to happen. And this is what we call as the discovery phase of the engagement. So whenever a tender process is issued out, or let's say whenever the first quotation is pitched, see the kind of questions the supplier is asking to the buyers. And some of these questions would be, who are the decision makers? What are their designations? We have already spoken about the urgency. Can you draw a timeline for me when the decision will be taken? And they're doing this not to make the conversation going, rather they're trying to identify which decision holder has how much authority and at what point that decision maker will be introduced. So they're trying to, let's say, reserve the benefits of the negotiation deals towards the latter part. All right, so if your boss will only, let's say, enter at the last stage of the negotiation, you can surely expect very limited amount of discounts or deals or concessions given to you unless that stage is arrived at. So often I have seen people disclosing every single thing on a very high level basis, and that's where you would see power centers being defined. To take this point a bit more forward, basically what they're trying to do at this stage is the sellers is they're trying to time it. So they will identify who's the bad cop and who's the good cop. All right, and this is where it gets really interesting. The sellers would like to negotiate with the good cops earlier than the bad cops, so they will try to get many points. Of course, the price could be one off, but in most of the cases it's not. But anything other than the price, they would try to agree with the good cops. And whenever the bad cop enters into the negotiation, they will try to leverage whatever agreements were done with the good cop against the bad cop as leverage. So they know that both of you, good cop and bad cop, are working for the same organization, so you wouldn't disregard what has been agreed. So it's, please, as a buyer, make sure if you're playing good cop bad cop tactic, you should know whatever decisions are being made should be communicated as to the bad cop directly. And my point of telling you this exercise is this good cop bad cop theory works on timing element. Like I said, if the seller is expecting good cop in the first round of negotiation, bring the bad cop as the first round of the negotiation. Do not concede your points, even if it is small conditions in the early part of the negotiation. Preserve them for later as the leverage. All right, that brings me to the last part, and which is given to them as an assumption, which most likely it's not accurate anymore. But most of the sales trainer will advise the sales manager that the procurement team are experts at market research. They will use whatever your previous information about performance, prices, comments that you have made, whatever you will say will be used against you, sort of a narrative in every negotiation. So sales manager are extremely careful about whatever information is being disclosed. So they run all the scenarios about how much prices I quoted, what were the round wise decrements I given, how am I going to defend if I'm increasing the prices by 15%. So in short, by design, the sales managers are extremely well prepared. So if you are sending your buyer which is less prepared, you can see who will take the control of the negotiation. So often what they will do to negate this market research expertise of procurement team, whatever the negative points of the suppliers are, maybe my prices are high, maybe I'm unable to meet your delivery deadline, and so on and so forth, whatever my negative points are as a seller, I will put it outright as part of the first meeting itself, so that as a good cop, if you are a good cop, you don't get to question me on this, rather you become as a solution master for me, trying to work out in the spirit of, okay, let's try to agree upon additional 30 days of delivery time, or let's try to agree upon it, less warranties, etc, etc, etc. So these are the some of the things that suppliers will use against the good cops in terms of getting those early wins and starting with whatever they are insecure about. It's by design. That's how sales managers are taught every time a negotiation is being pitched. Well, these were the 5 points that I found very interesting that I should be sharing with you. I will continue to read about or even to attend some of these sales webinars and sales training sessions to see how well sales managers are trained to deal against us as a procurement manager. Again, thank you very much for watching this video. It means a lot to me, and please share this video with whomsoever you think can benefit in procurement. My name is Gaurav and I run Supernegotiate as a digital procurement excellence community.